What in the world? We don't know what the green light means no more. Yo, what's good, folkers? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. It's Tyrant's Bane. Welcome to the Definition of Anarchy. It is Saturday, March 20th, 2021. And welcome back. I did a live stream earlier, now I'm doing another one. Where basically I came to the conclusion that, Steven Crowder is a racist who was telling racist jokes about black people. So, just to clear that up, just to let y'all know what happened. So what's up with this this little brothel massacre in Georgia? A guy ran up into 2 different brothels, massage parlors, and killed 8 people. Most of whom were Asian. Now, a lot of very interesting things going on with this story. I think a lot of it is psyop, right? A lot of psychological operations going on with this story here. You know, which sows more division. Much of what the media does, much of what they convey stories in the news has to do with division, has to do with distraction. The bottom line is this incel, right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with what an incel is basically an involuntary celibate, right? That's what incel stands for. Involuntary celibate. Ran up into 2 different massage parlors where he was getting serviced, right? Where he was getting, some happy endings, and killed some people. And the reason he said he did it was because he had an addiction, and the best way he saw to stop his addiction is by killing service workers, right? I'm not going to say the other thing. I got kids in the car, right? I can say the F word and the D word and the S word in front of my kids, but I'm not going to get into that type of stuff. There's a certain way I want to. I know. There's a certain way you have to introduce that type of stuff to your kids. So anyway, I think it's a psyop. But look, this is, even when they do psyops, the reaction to these stories from certain individuals is very real, okay? Very real reactions, right? And it's very telling what these reactions are. Several people, some of your favorite YouTubers have come out to speak about this whole thing, about him doing this. And, of course, the media is saying that, some people are saying that, he was just racist. It was an attack on Asian people. And, then you hear how the police said he had a bad day, right? That's a new meme going around. This dude had a bad day. And how they deal with people like him and other people of, people of color. Like when people of color do something and they encounter the police, it's a whole different ball game than how they handle people like Dylan Roof and this punk, right? This individual that killed these people in Georgia. And it's obvious, right? But people want to sit up here and act like there is no disparity and no difference in how black people are treated by the police compared to white people. There's a difference, right? Not with every police officer. Just, if you look at the patterns, if you look at the pattern of police interactions with people, you will see a difference. And of course, they try to tell you, well, there are millions of police interactions a day, and a small percentage of violent incidents. But see, this is the problem. there shouldn't be millions of interactions with the police each day. What that tells me, right, when they tell you that there's millions of interactions with the police every day, that tells me that the police are doing too much. That tells me that they are forcing people to interact with them way too much. All right. If there are millions of interactions and barely anything happens with those interactions, that means that these police officers wasted the time of the people on the street. They just did, for whatever reason, whether it be for a ticket, for speeding, whatever the case may be, police interaction is way too much. It's way too high in this country. I don't care if there's a small incidence of violence and shootings and all the other stuff, right? Police killings. We should not be having so many interactions with the police today. That's just my thinking. That's my thinking. But what's interesting to me is the same people that say people race bait and bring up race too much in regards to police interactions, they sure do like to bring up race a lot when it comes to when they want to compare to what black people do, right? Like ABL. He had a problem with the idea or the theory that this dude might have been feeling some sort of racist towards Asians when he killed him. So what he had to do was say, well, it's the black people that are attacking the Asians, because there's been there's been a string of attacks going on against Asian people, and they're saying a lot of them are black, right? And so he had to bring that up in this story, right? Well, if you have an issue with people bringing up race in this incident, why would you then shift over and say something about race if you want to find a way to attack black people? See, that's what these people do. ABL, Brandon Tatum, Candace Owens, they love to attack black folks that don't think like them. If you don't come over to the conservative side and comply with their thinking and assimilate with what they got going on, then you're part of the problem, right? The black community is a problem to them. So whenever stuff like this happens, invariably they bring up black people, and they use those bogus statistics, right, from the FBI. The same FBI, by the way, that said that Antifa had nothing to do with the Capitol insurrection. And so these same people will say, well, how can we trust the FBI when it comes to them saying that there was no Antifa involvement in the insurrection? And I would have to agree. Like, I agree with that. I think that you can't trust the FBI. I agree that you can't trust the FBI in any case. So they don't trust the FBI when it comes to them saying that there were no Antifa involved in the insurrection, right? There was no evidence of that. But you believe the FBI when they say that black people are 14% of the population and commit 50% of the crime, right? That you can trust that, but you can't trust what they said about the insurrection. Very interesting. So when you look at these hypocrites, when you piece these hypocrites' contradictory behavior together, then what you can do is from that point on, you can, okay, they have no credibility, right? These people have no credibility. So when they talk about how, it couldn't possibly be racially motivated that this dude went around killing these people, even though he said what he said. Like, I don't know if it was racially motivated or not. He said that he had this addiction, and he wanted to end the addiction. This is the best way he saw to do it. Okay, I have no way to prove that wasn't why he did it. But I'm not going to sit up here and say, well, it's the black people. Black people are the ones that are attacking the Asians the most. See how that works? You don't want race to be brought up unless you're bringing it up to prove your narrative. And that's what I see going on with this right here. Okay, same thing happened with Ahmaud Arbery. Same thing happened with every time this happens, right? Every time this happens, These hypocrites will tell you, stop bringing up race. But every moment they get, they find a way to poo-poo on black people. So I can't put any stock in what these people say. I'll listen to what they say just to see what crap they're pushing to the people that they listen to, or that they that follow them. But like, as far as like any credibility, they don't have any shred of credibility in my mind. So I don't know. I think that I think this dude, if this really happened the way they said it happened, I think one human being killed 8 other human beings because he's a crazy nutbag that, for whatever reason, whatever his reasoning was, he deserves to be put in front of a firing squad and laid down, like, immediately, right? He basically confessed. So if a dude confesses, all right, why, if he confesses, right, without coercion, because you can tell these people aren't coercing this dude. Like, the police are treating him handling him with kid gloves, right? Just like they did with Dylan Roof. They handled Dylan Roof with kid gloves. They're handling this clown with kid gloves. So this dude confesses. We know he did it. We don't need to waste our money, our taxpayer money, in the court system, going through trial and nothing like that. What needs to happen, bottom line, he needs to be laid out immediately. Like, don't sit him up in the courthouse. He don't need to go to jail. He don't need to go to prison for decades and decades. He don't need to serve life. He needs to be laid to rest immediately. A summary execution. Like, I don't understand why they're wasting taxpayer dollars. Why are we wasting taxpayer money on? You know how many millions of dollars goes into one death row inmate? They sit. Why? No, lay their ass out immediately. You know what I'm saying? This is how it should be. That's how you really serve justice. That's how you deal with people who kill other people without provocation. That's how you deal with people who molest children and abuse children. That's how you deal with them. We don't need them. We don't need them sucking the air out of the sky. We don't need them eating the food. We don't need them using the electricity and the water. What are we waiting on? What are we waiting for? Well, there's big money in keeping prisoners in prison for as long as possible. Big money in that, because they can use them for slave labor, right? Not really sure about death row inmates. I don't think death row inmates have jobs, so they're just sitting there wasting away. They're not even providing anything. They're not even performing a service for their asses sitting up in there riding away. The bottom line is, we don't need to keep these people alive for as long as possible before we kill them. These murderers, right? These child molesters. And you know what's funny? Who was that? Child molesters, right? Child sexual abusers. I don't understand how they get, so many times they get such low sentences. They get like 3 years, 4 years with probation and all this other shit. They get probation and they get released back out into the world, but they have to put themselves on a registry. I don't understand. See, this is the problem. We wouldn't need a registry, right? We wouldn't need that registry, right? The Megan's Law registry. We wouldn't need that if you did what you were supposed to do with child molesters, right? If you did what you were supposed to do with child molesters, you would not need that registry. You would not need to put people who urinate in public on there. You know that happens? If you urinate in public, you can get put on that list. They wouldn't need to put urinator in publickers, people who urinate in public, on that list. And again, this is a thing that is wasting money. How much money goes into that software and into that server that they have to use to do that registry? If you did what you were supposed to do with child sex offenders, sex traffickers, child molesters, right? You would not need that registry. You would not need to waste taxpayer dollars housing those clowns before you release them and you put them on that registry. You wouldn't need to. Y'all understand, right? It's crazy. It's crazy how backwards this shit is. But you can get 20 years in some states. You can get 20 years in prison. For certain drugs. You can get 5 years in prison in Georgia, a 5-year mandatory minimum for marijuana. 5-year mandatory minimum. You see how backwards this system is? How backwards this system is that we put so much faith and trust and money into? It's just frustrating, y'all. It's frustrating. I just, this world is backwards, man. So this dude, he's going to get off. Well, he's not going to get off. My bad. He is going to get off. He's going to get off because they're not going to kill him right away, right? He's going to be housed. He's going to get 3 hots in a cot. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be taken care of with our taxpayer dollars. Even if he gets the death penalty, it's probably going to be years before he actually gets executed. That's more money going into the system. It's crazy. It's wild. So, excuse me. Yeah, like dildo roof. James Millage, what's up? Marcy T, Jay with open eyes. I used code words and all, and still got deleted. Yeah, they picking up on the code words. Like the video that got removed of mine, I used Modelo 19. I used all that. I used code. Well, you know what? I didn't use the codes the whole time. I did say that I did use when I talked about that documentary where they talk about the hokey pokey adverse effects. You know the documentary with what's her name? The host. The narrator for that, Polly. Lawrence Rittenhouse was good. So, I mean, it's just wild, man. I just don't understand it. So, that's pretty much the bottom line to it. Like, we need to stop focusing so much on. I agree. I've been good, Lawrence. I agree that we need to focus more on people committing horrendous acts towards other people as opposed to what race they are, right? It's just like it's like how like Derek C. Williams, shout out to him, by the way. Shout out to Derek C. Williams, one of my peoples, man. Like, we've been my fellow moderator for so many years. Anyway, he did a video the other day where it showed a black person getting killed in like a drive-by. We don't know who killed that person. Like, we don't know what color they were, but because of the area they're in, it was assumed that they were killed by another black person. And Derek C. Williams, he did a video on it and said that black people are essentially animals for killing each other. And I was like, man, look, killers are animals, period. Doesn't matter what race they are, right? But we have to understand that black people, white people, Hispanics, they kill each other, right? Because they live in the same communities and they live in the same neighboring communities. Like, so, especially if you live in an impoverished area, where the system turns their back on you, and there's liquor on every corner and drugs being sold, the criminals in that community, the criminals in that city or in that neighborhood are going to kill the people that look like them. They're going to victimize the people that look like them in that community. So this happens in white communities, where there's a lot of crime. This happens in black communities where there's a lot of crime. This happens in Hispanic communities where there's Asian. You understand? As a matter of fact, I'm watching this show called, it's been since crime has begun. Since human beings have started committing crimes against each other, they commit crimes against the people that look like them because that's who's in their proximity. That's who's close to them. So if there's a black impoverished area where there's a lot of criminals, their victims are more likely going to be other black people. If there's Hispanics and they live in the same community and there's criminals, they're going to victimize Hispanic people. It's just that so much emphasis is placed on black people by the media. Okay? The media. And so I told him, I was like, well, he told me, well, black people kill black people more than white people. And I said, well, white people kill white people more than white people. Hispanics kill Hispanics more than Hispanics. Asians kill Asians more than Hispanic people kill Hispanic people more than blacks or whites. Asians kill Asians more than black, whites, or Hispanics. You see what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Yes. Because of proximity and socioeconomic issues. If you have socioeconomic issues, I know. If you have socioeconomic issues in a community where there's a lot of crime, people in that community are going to suffer from criminals that prey on that community. That is as simple as that. So if you're going to talk about animals, let's talk about everybody's an animal then. How about every human being's an animal then? Because everybody's capable of killing another human being. Every human being is capable of killing another human being. So we're all animals. But let's talk about the most proliferant animals, right? It's interesting how the focus isn't on the most proliferant animals. And I'm talking about the European colonialist culture. That is what it is. Any colonialist culture. The Moors, right? They ran all up and through Europe for a little bit. The Europeans, they ran all up and through the entire world, colonializing, slaughtering people along the way, killing millions and billions of people throughout the centuries, placing us in this position that we're in as people who are not considered to be a part of who they are. That's just what it is. Black people, and this is real, y'all can take it how you want to take it. Black people will never kill as many black people as white people kill black people throughout history. It will never come close. That's just the reality. Like, look at King Leopold. Look what he did to the Congo. This dude slaughtered millions of Congolese people. Millions of Africans slaughtered by King Leopold. We will never touch that. Black people in America will never touch that amount of people being killing that many people. Ever. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality. And the things that, look, the effects of colonialization across the world, and it's not just colonialization, right? Conquering, right? You conquer, you rape and pillage. You destroy hundreds of cultures throughout the world. You call them savages. You know what I'm saying? And then you send them off in a little corner somewhere, like the Native Americans with the reservations, like the Aborigines in Australia. And then when they can't get a leg up, when they can't pull themselves out of the rut, y'all look at them as the problem. When you place people in a position where they can't win, how do you expect them to come out of it? If this can't be, we will never get anywhere as human beings if we can't acknowledge these facts. If we can't acknowledge the fact that black people in America are in the position they are in because of colonialization, slavery, right? Jim Crow. I don't understand. People think that, oh, slavery ended and magically black people were given some type of golden parachute where, oh, they were automatically able to just, why can't you succeed? You was just released from slavery. It's not that simple. You can't, you released me from slavery yesterday? I don't know how to read. I don't know how to write. I'm financially illiterate. With banks won't give me loans, right? I can't do this, I can't do that. Every time I turn around, my homeboy is getting lynched. Every time I turn around, people are chasing me down the street, shooting at me and shit. But that don't matter. We're just supposed to automatically be thriving, right? And then when we do begin to thrive, when we do pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, right? Like they tell us to do, first we got to make our own boots. That's what we had to do when we were free from slavery. We weren't given boots. So we had to make boots and we had to pull the straps up. It took a little bit of while. For some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why hundreds of years of slavery, sharecropping and Jim Crow. I don't know why it took us so long to get our shit together, black people. But we finally did. And when we did, and a specific example I'm going to give you is Niara Laney, I need you to try to open that gate. I can use it, and this is the perfect example. Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma. We had our own banks. Niara. Go, come on, go out the way. Go out that way. What are you doing? We had our own banks, movie theaters, hospitals, right? All that. Everything that you need to run a city. Everything you need to have a sustainable city. We had that in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And what did they do? Niara, I need you to go help her. Niara. Niara.
Can I take this off, Kalasia? Can I take this off, Kalasia?
Niara, get up. Go playing games.
Can I take this off, Kalasia?
Stop it.
We had all that. We had everything we needed in Tulsa, Oklahoma in Black Wall Street. And what happened? The neighboring white community, they was like, oh, these Negroes is thriving too well on their own. They doing too good on their own. So we're going to have to go over there and cause some problems, right? And then when we were fighting back, what did they do? They dropped bombs. This is what happens when we really become independent. Like they tell us, don't depend on the government. Do your own. Find a way for yourself, black people. Quit asking for handouts. Okay, when we do it, y'all screw it up. Y'all come with your scissors and cut the straps. And then what? What'd you expect? That's what happens. Hold on, guys. We got some lazy kids. All right, lazy kids, here I come. Come on, sit down.
Mom, I am forced.
What?
I can't get off on my own.
Okay, have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat.
Baba.
Yes.
I don't know how me take this off.
Hold on, baby. Don't you see I'm trying to park? So, anyway, when we finally, when we finally do pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, here they come with the scissors. Oh, get yourself together, black people. Meanwhile, you got scissors behind your hand. When they pull themselves up by their bootstraps, I'm gonna cut them bitches. All right, y'all get in the house. Come on. Line and cat. This, come on. All right, guys.
Mom, can I take this off?
Yes, can you do it in the house, please? Can you guys start taking stuff in the house, please? Thank you. So when
Yeah, so cute.
when that happens, you have to understand
What is that?
it is not just Wall Street.
Get out.
All right, like now, do we have thriving, affluent black neighborhoods today? Yes, we do.
What's the hot?
But you let them tell it. You let the ABLs and the go in the house. Go in the house, mama. Go in the house. Go in the house. It's okay. Go in the house. She just woke up. It's okay, mama. When you have the ABLs and the Brandon Tatums, they'll have you believe there's no such thing as a good neighborhood unless it's a white neighborhood. You know why? Because they're Republicrats, or they're pander-publicans who pander to their white conservative base and kiss their white conservative base asses, and every chance they get, they say what these white racists are thinking, and so they can continue to get their money. But there are thriving black neighborhoods that are doing well, and they're very safe. They're very safe. Don't let them tell it though. But the problem is, it's just the housing, right? Like we'll have an affluent black neighborhood where they own the houses, but it's still ran by the hospitals are not black. The stores, the restaurants, a lot of the restaurants and the stores are black owned, but things like other things you need, like crucial services like hospitals and banks and whatnot, there are some black owned banks, but it's just not as it's not a separate community, right? Like where Tulsa, Oklahoma was its own community on its own, far a distance away from another community, where it had control over everything that happened. Every service, every utility was ran by black people. Not so much in black neighborhoods today. But I bet if that started happening, you get the haters coming through. If black folks actually decided to start their own community where they had all those services, everything they needed to have a thriving community, you would have some haters. Case in point, that those black families that bought 92 acres of land in Georgia, that said that they wanted to create a community that was safe for black people. How many haters, how many racists came out the woodworks and started hating on them for that? But this is what y'all told us to do. Y'all told us to do this. Y'all told us to start our own communities. Y'all told us to be independent. Y'all told us to stop relying on the government and get off our asses and do something. This is what you told us to do. And they never said that they're excluding white people. They didn't say white people weren't allowed. They just said they wanted it safe for black people. They didn't say we want it safe for black people and only black people can stay here. No, they said they wanted a safe community for black people. That don't mean that white folks can't come through. They just have to go along with in the rules and the culture and all that stuff. It's going to be a different ballgame. You come through here, you're going to have to respect the black community leaders. Point blank and period. How many haters did we have? I did a video on that. Right? Where Vlad TV channel posted it, and there's so many racist comments. And Brandon Tatum was on there hating. Oh, if black people want to be safe in the community, they need to go to a white community. You see what I'm saying? Why you mad? Why you mad? Why you mad? Because farmers want to get it cracking. Why you mad? Because there's the black farmers getting some money. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you mad? Why you mad black people are buying their own land and want to start their own communities? Why you mad about that? That's what you wanted. That's what you said we need to do. Right? They don't really mean that though. They want black people to continue to be independent on the system. That's what they really want. So they can keep talking shit. Because guess what? If black people pull themselves out of despair and depression, if black people pull themselves out of despair and depression, what you looking for, baby? Out of despair and depression, if black people do something with themselves, right? If they stop the violence, well, you're never going to stop violence, right? If you reduce the violence to a point where black folks can thrive everywhere, they wouldn't have shit. They wouldn't have people to talk shit about, right? They wouldn't have nothing to say to appease these white folks, these racist white folks that want to hear people say what they're thinking. They wouldn't have that. So they love it. They love it when black people get killed by the police, right? Like that lady, like that young woman in Memphis, Tennessee, that I'm going to talk about tomorrow during my Wrecking Life, right? They love that. They love when black folks don't kiss the Pobo's ass and want to be free and walk around freely, because that's what she was doing, right? She didn't want to be bothered with that police officer. Did I talk about that already in the video? Anyway, she said, "Can I go to the bathroom?" He said no. Who are you to tell me I can't go to the fucking bathroom? He said, oh, there's a warrant for the owner of this car. The warrant's not for me. Why are you fucking with me? Why are you messing with me? Why are you taking my stuff? Why are you bothering me? The warrant, I'm not the one whose name is on the warrant. Why are you fucking with me? You see what I'm saying? They love when black people buck at the police. Not because black folks are standing up for themselves like they should, but because when the cop kills that person, they can shit on black people. See, you Negroes always fucking with the police. Then you get murdered and you wonder why. This woman did nothing wrong. That woman in Memphis that was killed by that pig, she didn't do anything wrong. And I'm going to explain that tomorrow in the Wrecking Live. I will explain it. Unless did I do a video on that already, guys? I don't remember. There's some videos I did that were screwed up. Like I do a video for 20, 30 minutes. I do a 30-minute video on the way to work or the way from work. And there was no sound. I don't know what the hell's going on with my phone. Anyway, let me read some of your comments. I can see him getting a lot of years, not death penalty. Like, look at how they donated all their money to Kyle, the dude who killed. Well, I got to say, Kyle Rittenhouse did not kill BLM supporters. He killed Antifa members. And what I saw was self-defense. I'm going to be honest about that. When you watch all the videos, because there's a particular video where it shows a different angle that led me to believe, okay, this dude defended himself. He may be a prick, right? He may, he fought a girl back in the day. But if you look at just the case, if you look at that particular incident, I can't say that it wasn't self-defense. You should hear what they say in England. Apparently, because one black person or someone made it, that means we don't face no... Yeah, exactly. Some black people have to make it. And not everybody in the system is racist. Not everybody in the system is racist, right? You have some... Not everyone is racist. I don't think all white people are racist. I don't. But cats like ABL wants you to think that people like me think all white people are racist. I don't think all white people are racist. I think some of them are racist. Some of them are ignorant. Some of them know what's up. And some of them just want to live their life. You know what I'm saying? What you want, girl?
Can we have strawberries and then we'll clean up?
I think I want you to clean up first and then have strawberries.
Okay.
I can't give you the incentive before you do the work. They think they slick, trying to eat the blueberries before they clean up after themselves. Anyway, so, not all white people are racist. The system is not so much that the system is racist. It's just that the system is oppressive to everyone. The system oppresses everyone. And it oppresses one group more than another. That's just the reality of it. The whole system, everyone's enslaved by the system. Don't get it twisted. Everyone is enslaved by the system. See, people present so many false dichotomies and false divergences. Many different things can exist in a gumbo, right? The system can oppress everyone because the system can enslave everybody, but place more emphasis on one group over another and still be enslaving everybody. You see what I'm saying? So that's like, let's say if you had a whole, like 100 slaves, 25 were black, 25 were Irish, 25 were Jewish, and 25 were indigenous. They're all enslaved, but they might want to treat the black slaves and the indigenous slaves a little harsher. But they're all enslaved. They just treat these two groups worse. Right? That's what it is. They're all enslaved, but the blacks and the indigenous, they're whipped more, right? They're given less food. Let's say they'll give the black and the indigenous, they'll give them the chitlins, the pig feet, and the hog maw, right? And they'll give the Irish and the Jews skirt steak and the beef shank. You see what I'm saying? They won't get the filet mignon. They won't get the roast. They won't get the T-bone. They won't get the ribeye. But they'll get a beef shank. They'll get the poor man's filet. What they call it, a petite filet. They'll get them the skirt steak. Meanwhile, the blacks and indigenous, they'll get the pig guts and the colon. You know, that's there's degrees and variations. It doesn't have to be all one way or another. That's what people get lost. They get lost in this. It has to be this way. It's either it's racist or it's a joke. Either the system is racist or enslaves everybody. No, it can do both. It can do both. You understand what I'm saying? It can do both. Because they know they can manipulate people that look like. So if a system of elites enslave everyone, they know that they can manipulate the people that look like them more than the ones that don't. They'll get more resistance from the people that don't look like them. So they're going to cater and pander to the ones that look like them more. It's a lot to it. There's some nuances. That's the word of the day, nuance. Let's see. Shot killings, how did Kyle Rittenhouse? Well, I wasn't sure until I saw the video where the first dude he shot attacked him, right? So he attacked him. Kyle Rittenhouse has his rifle in his hand, right? It's slung down right here. The dude, the pedophile, right, that attacked him, ran and chased him. Cal turned away from him and ran away from him. Okay. The child molester, not that matters, but I don't know his name, so I'm gonna call him the Chester, threw something at him, and then a gunshot went off. So as someone who's got adrenaline pumping and who's in the flight or fight mode right now, they hear a gunshot and something is thrown at them. It's either, okay, I'm going to continue to run and get shot in the back, or I'm going to turn and see who's firing so I can see if I can kind of discourage them from shooting at me any further. So what happened was he turned around. He sees the Chester lunging for him, and he fires 2 shots. The Chester got his face blown off. So Cal he stops, says, oh shit, what did I do? Tries to administer aid, but then now there's a horde of people running toward him. So he continues to run. And when he runs, he's running down the street. A group catches up to him, attacks him with a skateboard, hits him upside the head, or almost hits him upside the head. At this point, he is not fired again. He falls to the ground. People are still trying to attack him. A guy with a gun runs towards him, while another guy tries to kick him in the head. He fires, shoots the dude that kicked him. Dude dies. Shoots the dude with the gun in his hand, shot his arm off. Self-defense to me. That's just the reality of it. That's how it happened. Sorry. That's just it. Because I would have done the same shit. I would have done the same thing. I looked at it, I was like, how would I handle this? He handled it the best way he could. Now, whether he should have been there, I don't believe in man-made law, so the whole law, oh, he shouldn't have carried a firearm across state lines. I don't care about that. That bears no, that has nothing, that's irrelevant in my mind, because he's 17 years old. I feel like a 10 or 11-year-old should be able to carry a firearm if they're taught properly, if they're taught safety, and they're aware and they're educated and they have a respect for that firearm and they demonstrate that after so many months of training. So I don't care about the 17-year-old with a firearm. All these things that they're saying. So it was self-defense. There's no other way around it. Every shot he fired was caught on video, and everything leading up to the shots he fired is on video. It's plain and clear to me that he saved his own life. He saved his life. If he had not done that, he probably would have died, because he was on the opposite side. That is what it is. It was self-defense. Yeah, England is a whole different ball game from what I understand. I've been to Britain. I've been to London and England. I've been to London. I loved it. The driving was crazy. I didn't understand the driving, but I was only 16. I wasn't driving anyway. Yeah, Ella Chester. How you know he's a pedophile? He's a convicted pedophile. He was convicted for it. That's how I know. He wasn't on trial. It wasn't alleged. He was convicted of child sexual abuse. That's how I know. Kids should have guns. Kids are weaker than adults. Everybody should be able to have a firearm. If you're not doing anything wrong to someone, like if you have no intent on hurting anybody, I mean, because you're not going to stop people that do have the intent on hurting and harming and killing somebody from actually doing it. Criminals are going to criminalize. Criminals are going to criminal. You understand what I'm saying? No law is going to stop a criminal. This is what I'm talking about. And then, of course, they're going to use the Kyle Rittenhouse thing to raise the age to 21. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Never let a good crisis go to waste. The fact of the matter is Kyle Rittenhouse was running for his life until he couldn't. And then he did what he had to do to protect his life. So anyway, let me get in there with these kids. Make sure they're cleaning up. My wife left me for a weekend, went to San Diego. So I had 5 kids to myself the whole weekend. And, it's a lot. It's a lot on your boy. That's a lot on your boy, but it's all good, man. I had them kids. I shot them out of me. I got to take care of them, and I love them to death. But anyway, I'm going to hit you guys up tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to get back to the Ruckin' Lives. Yeah, tomorrow. I should be able to do it next Sunday as well. We'll see how I do, man. I haven't... Well, how long has it been? Like 3 or 4 weeks since I actually walked up some stairs with 70 pounds. Now, I've been doing it at work. Like I said, at work, there's 14 flights. I have 14 flights of stairs that I walk up and down at least 5-6 times a day. So, just at work, as a supervisor, I'll walk up and down the stairs. I'll go all the way to the top. I'll run sometimes. Sometimes I have a backpack on with like 30 pounds. So I've been doing it with 30 pounds at work. So we'll see how I do tomorrow with 70 pounds after having not done it in 3 or 4 weeks. So we'll see how it goes, y'all. In Maine, 16-year-olds can have guns. Anywhere, a 12-year-old should be able, I mean, this age limit, it's not like you can drink a gun or smoke a gun. No. It's a tool. It's a dangerous tool if you don't know how to use it properly. But this is the thing. if you have firearms and you have children, you need to make your children as aware of that firearm as possible. Let them see it, unloaded, of course. You know, open the chamber, you know, teach them about it, let them know how dangerous it is, you know, tell them that they cannot use it, they can't have it right now until they reach a certain age where you feel comfortable with them handling it. Make them aware of it. Don't hide it. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Because if you hide it and they don't know anything about it, guess what happens when they pick it up? They're going to be curious. They're going to do all kinds of things with it. To me, that's how these accidents happen. So if you have firearms in the house and you have children, make them aware of that firearm. Keep the ammo away, but let them know. Hell, take them, if you live in an area, a state where you can take them outside to your backyard and you have a nice berm where it's safe, and shoot it and let them see what it does to a watermelon. Let them see what it does to a cantaloupe. Make them aware. Educate your children on your firearms as much as possible. And then, you know, now, I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to say that. That might get me in trouble. But let them be aware of it. And they will respect it. When they see it, they don't want to touch it. Because they know, okay, I know about this thing. I know what it can do. I'm not going to touch it right now because I don't want to get hurt. And you'll see how well that works. Let them know. Let them be aware. Because when I was 6 or 7 or 8, I saw one. It wasn't no joke. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I was messing with it and all this other shit. It didn't have ammo in it. I didn't see a magazine poking out. But imagine if it had. And I'm just messing with this thing. I'm 6, 7 years old. I'm just messing with it. I didn't know anything about it. So anyway, much love to you guys. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about the things I said in the comment section. And yeah, you guys have a peaceful, wonderful day. And we'll get at this tomorrow. Peace. Love you guys.